Hey everybody, welcome to the latest episode of Boomin with Bella. I am your host, Bella Lainez. Before we get into it, remember to like and subscribe here on YouTube, but also that you can like, subscribe, follow wherever you get your podcasts. And don't forget to follow at Boomin with Bella on all social media. In the social bios, there's a link which will take you to all things Boomin with Bella, and I promise there's some good stuff, so go check that out. Now, without further ado, so today we're going to talk about my trips to Puerto Rico. I was gonna say trip, but we all know I've been there. How many times has it been this year? 2? But 4 times total in the past, like 2 years, I think. It might be more than that. Apologies for any echo, any weird stuff going on. I got a new camera to record the YouTube videos with, and I might have broken it. I don't know. I dropped it, and now it won't work unless it's plugged in. So, with that being said, my laptop is not working. I don't know if it's a storage issue or what's going on. So I am recording this on my phone, and I will try to work out the kinks for the next episode. And again, I'm still very close to the dogs. So apologies if you hear them. So I want to talk just a little bit about my trips to Puerto Rico and kind of like my favorite places, you know, give you little travel recs like I did in Vegas, and then also talk about the music. And I think one of the things that's like so special and awesome to me is like I'm obviously big on reggaeton, salsa, bachata, dembow, and those are the sounds of Puerto Rico. I mean, whether or not the genre specifically originated in Puerto Rico, like bachata originated in the Dominican Republic, salsa is a little bit of Puerto Rico, a little bit of Cuba. Regardless, it's a party all day long, all the time. The music is just happy. The topic of the song, the lyrics could be the most heartbreaking, pining story, but you're still dancing to it, or you're still listening to it on the beach, listening to the waves, eating an empanada, sipping on a mojito. So we'll get into like all of that. First, I want to just tell you some of the things that I've learned from traveling to Puerto Rico. And one of those things would be is that it's definitely more cost effective to go in the winter or to plan out your trips, if that's something that matters to you. Second, so I usually stay at La Casa de mi abuela, okay? And she is located in Dorado, Puerto Rico, which is like about 30-ish minutes from San Juan, so the airport, and about, again, 30 minutes from Viejo San Juan. I like staying there because like it's close enough where it's like not that bad of a drive or an Uber. I also like being given the option to go to Viejo San Juan or San Dulce kind of easily. There are other parts of the island that I do want to see. I've been to Arecibo, I've been to Ferrado, I've been to Luquillo, but there's some other parts that I definitely want to explore the next couple times that I go there. I've stayed at a couple hotels all around the island. My favorite is obviously La Concha. It is like a 5-star resort for that reason. The only thing about La Concha though is that it is on the side of the island where the water is really, really rough. So you can't swim unless you're like a skilled swimmer. That's the only thing. I have done jet skis and I have swam on the Isla Verde side. It can get rough, but not as bad as La Concha. Wherever like is going on with La Concha, it is so rough. I've stayed at the Royal Sonesta, and there were a couple days where the water was also really rough, but I don't think anything compares to like what I saw like the one day I was at La Concha, and that was in like 2023. Dorado's nothing like that. It's peaceful, it's calm. I could sit in that water for hours. I think I have. Completely lost track of time in that ocean. And I also just love, like at one of the beaches in Dorado near my grandparents' house, every Sunday they have a live band. And that band will play bachata, they'll play salsa, and it's It's so fun. Like people are dancing, everyone's just kind of drinking, hanging out, relaxing. There's plenty of bars for pinchos, plenty of empanadillas. There's 2 stands at that beach, so it's right by La Vaca and Furiosa. I think Don Taco. If you look that up in Dorado, you'll find the beach that I'm talking about, or La Villa de Lester. But Lester's empanadas, and then the stand that's like physically on the beach. Those are my 2 favorite empanada spots on the island. Okay, I was telling my cousins this last time we were there. So what I like about the stand that's on the beach is the way they season the chicken and like the stuffing inside the empanada. What I like about Lester's is the dough, how they fry the dough. I like it, but it's not like the chicken it tastes like tastier from the stand. And Lester's also puts potato in their empanadas. I know some people don't like that. I don't really care. An empanada is an empanada. I'm gonna eat it. But those are my 2 favorites, and they're both the actual shell is very full. Like it's not. I've had empanadas on the island. I've had empanadas in general that it's like very airy, and there's like only a little bit of chicken. That's not the case with either of those places. So those are my favorites. Those are my favorite spots. And then obviously the empanadas my abuela makes, always. But they also have really good mojitos there. I prefer mojito de pala. One of my second cousins kind of put me on, and ever since he did, I believe that was in 2021, he first told me about that. Ever since then, I have been ordering mojito de palmas wherever I'm at. Take it from me, take it from my cousin. Mojito de palma. It's a pomegranate mojito. In terms of like activities I've done, I've jet skied, but really, my favorite thing is to just lay on the beach. Like I go to Puerto Rico to relax, to shut off, relax, and to go out. Chinchorrear. So chinchorrear is a like Puerto Rican slang term. My light died, sorry about that, guys, if you're watching. For essentially like bar hopping or partying and going to different spots. So it could be whether you're like trying different food stands or trying different bars, clubs, dancing in the streets, that kind of thing. Basically like La Placita or La Calle de Sol de Luna in Viejo San Juan. When we were last there, I was there with my cousins and my tío and tía, and I don't know why I started it, but I think at one point, I said chinchorrear, and then that just kind of became a thing, and I kept saying it, and yeah, so chinchorreando, that's what we were doing, and oh my god, it's so fun. The funny part is, so going back to like best places for this, is the only time I guess successfully chinchorreando was this last time, and it was when it was in Viejo San Juan. We did La Calle de Sol and La Calle de Luna, and we just like hopped. We started at El Cafetín, which is viral on TikTok for the bartenders having to take off their shirts. Why they do that, I don't know. I mean, I'm not complaining. But also, like, I missed it if there was like a certain hour where they have to just rip them off, like a certain time on the clock, or if like a certain song comes on and they have to take them off. Like we went in, everybody was clothed or whatever. The music, by the way, the best in El Cafetín. My favorite spot for music. Every song I was like, yes. They also have like fun games and stuff. They have like the giant Uno cards, they have Jenga, they have dominoes. So like, it's fun. It's just tight, but you can hear the music outside, so that's where like some people would hang out outside. But we were there, we were having fun, and we were like, all right, let's try a couple other spots. And then by the time we eventually came back, because we were like, this place has the best music, the shirts were off, so I missed it. I missed like the big reveal, I guess. I'll have to go back and see. Regardless,
There was like a bunch of spots. I think the craziest part is I think we were in the mood for salsa that night. And we couldn't get into La Factoria because if you didn't know, their age limit is you have to be 23. So 23 and up. My cousin who had just turned 21, we were like there celebrating his birthday and he hands his ID to the bouncer and the bouncer's like, nah man, you gotta be 23 to come here. So we did not, we were just like fiending for salsa. Couldn't find it. And that's like, okay, I guess in the end. We ended up having a really good time regardless, and the music in general is just so fun and good, and we were just trying to find like a good vibe. We ended up just hopping around different spots for like 2 hours, but I enjoyed it. I would definitely go back and do that again. I've been to La Factoria. I've been to, I think, La Vergüenza. I took a bunch of videos, I posted them on TikTok. I'll post them again here just so you can kind of see what it was like. We did find one room, like one club that was playing like dance hall, and that you guys know how I've been feeling about dance hall. I love dance hall music, soca music, reggae. I'm fully in that right now. The only thing was the vibe was off. The vibe was off. It was creepy. It was very smoky, which was unfortunate because the music, I was like, had the vibe been better, like I would be all over this. Oh, it smelled weird also. I didn't like that. But yeah. And then I've also been to La Placita, which is in Santurce, and I keep seeing these TikToks about like you'll never be in your 20s again in La Placita, dancing with strangers, blah blah blah. Personally, I've never had that experience. I don't know if I just go to La Placita during the wrong days of the week, perhaps. Um, but every time I've been there, I've kind of been like, what's going on? Now, I don't know if the TikToks that I've seen are just very like from tourists, which don't get me wrong, I'm also very much a tourist there. I am not a local. I do not know the island like the back of my hand, and I am trying to be as utmost respectful as I can, you know, knowing my places, what streets I don't belong on, all that stuff. Like, okay, to put that in perspective, one time I was there during La San Sebastian festival, and by the way, amazing. I've talked about that. We seen live. We seen from We Seen in Yandel, like absolute dream for 12-year-old Bella. Was obsessed, loved that. But the same like week or so, we went to La Factoria, me and two of my friends, and we were just kind of hanging out, like enjoying the salsa room, sipping our drinks. I ordered a really bad drink. I ordered something with whiskey in it. I'm not a whiskey girl. So it took me like 2 hours to drink that drink. So I was sipping on it. It was hard. Um, these guys came up to us and they started telling us about how they went to La Perla. Like, wow, you know, we didn't know we weren't supposed to be there. Don't be those guys. Don't be those guys. Um, Anyone who knows anything about La Perla or Puerto Rico or San Juan will not be impressed by that story. They'll be like, you are an idiot. And that's exactly what I told them. That was like the biggest, like, oh my God, who do you think you are? And why do you think I'd be impressed by that? So basically, don't be those guys. And I don't want to be that person. I'm not gonna act like something I'm not. I'm a little gringuita. Okay, I can barely speak. I've been a lot better. I've been a lot better. If you know you've been following around my Spanish language journey, I've been a lot better. I just finished watching Love is Blind Mexico, and I've been talking to my dogs in Spanish. So, so I've gotten a lot better, but I know my place. These guys did not know their place. They also were like coming off a cruise ship. Like, please, 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 don't be those people. I lost my train of thought. Okay, yeah, so, but regardless, I still want to be connected to the island. I always feel connected to the island when I go there. I've mentioned that I feel as though I'm a better person when I'm in Puerto Rico. I'm my best self. I'm nicer. I feel more connected to the earth. You know, I'm more easygoing. It's like stress just can't get into my body. I like heal when I go to Puerto Rico. So I do want to see more of the island. I do want to explore more things, and I think I look to be exposed to more like cultural and local things. Besides the point. So La Placita, I feel like, is very full of tourists, and it is like the one side of it that they do salsa or whatever. And for whatever reason, the last time that I went there in January, there were many people dancing there. There was more people dancing by like brewers or whatever that place is, and we hung out there. But we also went to Tulum and to Aguardiente. And I just noticed that the crowds were very segregated. There was a certain crowd that went to Aguardiente, and there was a certain crowd that went to Tulum, and I did not like that. So we left both of those spots. So I don't know. I wanted to try La Placita again this past time that I was there with my cousins, but during the time that I was there, it didn't work out, which is fine because I was actually really pleasantly surprised with Viejo San Juan's nightlife. I kind of knew that happened, but I had never like experienced it like that. Like I said before, I had been there for San Sebastian and just to go to La Factoria. And even then, I think we went on like a Thursday or a Wednesday night. So it was like the street was kind of dead, rightfully so. And then I've never brunched, so I don't have brunch recommendations. Because usually brunch is like on the beach for me. And I think, okay, so I've also been to 58 at La Concha. I really wanted to go to experience it, like to experience where we found out everything and more about Bad Bunny. And it was fun. There was a wedding, so it did get weirdly EDM at one point. But in general, like it's a cool, like it's a cool space. It's a cool space for sure. But I was just there on a night where like the crowd was mid. In terms of like the energy, like there was not a lot of dancing going on at all. Oh, there was a fight. That's what happened. There was a brawl. And when we left the club, there was like cops and everything and like there. So I don't know. That was an off night for 58, but I've heard great things about it. I see great videos. I've always wanted to go to a concert and then go to the after parties. But I haven't been there. Literally, Fairchill was there last night, and I so like could have, but it's fine. And like also thinking about like the Bad Bunny situation in 2022, where like after the Un Verano Sin Ti performance at Lo Jolly, and he and Gabriella were at the club or whatever, and up on the stage, he starts making out with that girl in the crowd, and like Gabriella is like 2 feet away. Like she was literally 2 feet away. It is not that big of a space. So that was crazy to me, just like thinking about all that. But I would recommend, I think it's a fun place. It's a cool nightclub to be at. Definitely a cafetín. Like on the beaches, on the weekends, like there's usually live music. Definitely check all that out. At Metropol in Isla Verde, we ate there, I don't remember. It was either a Monday night or a Sunday night. But they had live music too. They had a live band. That was really cool. But yeah, the sounds of Puerto Rico are salsa, bachata, reggaeton, bamboo, Bad Bunny, Eladio Carrion, Karol G, Raúl Alejandro, Frankie Ruiz, Tito Puente, specifically Tú con él, Desnúdate, Mujer, La Pura, Héctor, La Cantante, Wisin y Yandel, Daddy Yankee, Don Omar. One time I went to Lester's and they were literally they had like Don Omar songs and it was just on shuffle and it was just playing a bunch of Don Omar songs. Who else? Who else do I like constantly hear? Oh, now Omar Courtz. Everyone's been saying he's gonna be something. I said it too. And now this last album, Primera Musa, I don't want to talk about it too much because I will talk about it in what I've been listening to episode, but he ate with that album. There's more that I'm just blanking on right now because I don't have my stuff right in front of me. Definitely like Tu con él, Desnúdate Mujer, La Cura. I heard that like once a day and I'm not even mad about it. I love those songs. I think specifically what I was listening to when I was there. Oh, also I forgot to tell you about Los Kioscos de Luquillo. Sorry, I'll go back to that. But just to add real quickly, if you want to just pinchos, drink, Mojito Lab. I got a mojito from the Mojito Lab at the Kioscos. That thing rocked me, okay? Literally like 3 sips in and I was like, whoa, hello. So, and they're like the bucket size. I posted it on my Instagram. It was crazy. But that's a good spot to get food, drinks. There is a beach there. The water's nice, but it is very crowded. But it's a good little spot. You can jet ski there. It's just a little crazy because there's no like blocked off area for where the jet skis come through. It's straight up like where people are just swimming. So you gotta be like experienced. You should be an experienced jet skier if you're gonna do it there. Otherwise, just go to Isla Verde and do it. They have a blocked off section. I did it. I'm not someone who I would normally trust to drive a jet ski. I went very slow. I'm pretty sure everyone was laughing at me because I would not go. I think one of the guys too, like literally tried to like zoom up next to me and like create waves so I would have to go. And I was like, no. It's like, listen, I don't want to do this. I'm a passenger princess through and through, even with just regular driving, okay? Passenger princess. I've done the whole like I've done the whole Farhado, stay at El Conquistador. But I was a kid then. I do want to do like Vieques in Culebra. I have to find another time to like specifically like plan that out. Oh, sorry. I'll get back to the music in a second. But I need to talk about Pico Pollo BBQ. My favorite place. Oh my God. Okay, hold on. My favorite place on the island, okay, to eat. It is authentic. It is arroz, habichuela, pollo, mofongo, anything you could want. Tres leches. This spot is where it's at. So good. I have to have it every time I'm there. Like literally whenever I'm there, it's like it always ends up being my favorite meal. I could go to a million different restaurants. I could go to Serafina, which their Serafina in Condado is much better than the Serafina in New York, in my opinion. Okay. But back to it, I could go to Serafina, I could go to Metropol, I could go to like so many different restaurants. Nothing will ever top Pico Pollo. My perfect day in Puerto Rico is wake up. I go for a run. Okay. Come back, get dressed, head to Cerro Gordo, beach there, you know, hang out there for hours. And then on the way home, pick up Pico Pollo for dinner. And then just relax a la casa. And let me tell you, it's like a beautiful day. A day that ends with Pico Pollo BBQ is a beautiful day. That's what I recommend. Cerro Gordo is a really nice beach also, by the way. The water's really calm, really refreshing, really nice. It's like one of my favorite spots because it's just so pretty. And then also like getting to pick up Pico Pollo on the way home. This just makes it my favorite part of the trip. I have to have it at least once. Back to the music. So what I was listening to is I listen to a lot of Wisin and Yandel when I'm out there. I don't know, it just happens that way. I was listening to a lot of Plan B also this last time that I was out there. Obviously, like Un Verano Sin Ti is the soundtrack to Puerto Rico. If you want to image, like just the imagery, even in your mind, like the way this sounds, it is Puerto Rico. I always hear, like when I'm running and I pass this one cliff or whatever, whenever I look out and I see the oceans crashing against the rocks, the beach, the palm trees, like I literally hear the Moscow Mule intro. As a whole, from top to bottom, Un Verano Sin Ti is a love letter to Puerto Rico. Bad Bunny has said that himself. It is just Puerto Rico in an album. Um, so obviously I listen, that always comes back into rotation when I'm out there. I also was listening to a lot of Don Omar actually. Ella y Yo always comes on in at least La Placita, and there's always two guys going at it. That's always a big one. Um, a lot of salsa. I like Jerry Rivera a lot, specifically Amor Mágico, Gracias. Those are songs that I listen to a lot when I'm out there, in general, but also when I'm out there. And then obviously Tu Con El, Frankie Luis La Cura, all of that I listen to like nonstop. And it plays nonstop, so then it gets stuck in your head and you just want to hear it more. Bachata I listen to as well. I think I was playing the most though. Like I have a playlist that I play on the beach. It's called like I think Puerto Rico Mega Mix or something. It's like kind of a mix of like pop. It's a mix of reggaeton. It's a mix of salsa, bachata, a little bit of cumbia. So there's everything in there, and that's kind of like what I listen to. I think like I was actually listening to Carol G's album Mañana Será Bonito a lot the past two trips, which kind of took me by surprise. That album's been like slowly more and more growing on me. Oh, I was listening to a lot of Raúl Alejandro this last time that I was out there. Déjame Entrar, Espectacular specifically. I was listening to a lot of Raúl, but there's no surprise there. I was pretty much shifting between my Puerto Rico playlist, my Latino Mega Mix playlist when we were like getting ready to go out, and then my Salsa Terapia playlist and my Abuela's Basement playlist, which is like Abuela's Basement is like salsa, bachata. It's all of the songs that like we used to hear at our family New Year's Eve parties. But back then to us, we were kind of like, what? And now we're like, oh my God, these songs. So much nostalgia. So that's what those playlists are. I have a couple on spot. Those are all on Apple Music. I also have one now called Mojito de Palma. It's like a little bit of like just Afro beats from Afrobeat and a piano artist, but then also like Afro beats that have been done by Latino artists, Afro Latino artists, such as like Bright Diango released his album Afro Vibes, Yandel released the song Afro. So like all of that is mixed in there. Belé has been doing a lot of Afro beats, infused songs. So that's kind of what that playlist is. I've been playing that a lot recently, and I've noticed that that's a big trend with Latin artists. Is they're like including a bunch of Afro beats in their songs, or just going that full route, which I love. So no complaints there. And I also have a couple playlists on Spotify. So there's one that's like, not to exaggerate, but I need to live in Puerto Rico, something like that. And it's just like songs about Puerto Rico or that I heard every single day in Puerto Rico. I think when I was there in January, Young Miko's Bizarrap session played every single day. So that song is on there. Just like my Bad Bunny, which I think it's Conejita Mala on both Spotify and Apple Music. It's definitely Conejita Mala on Spotify. It might just be Bad Bunny on Apple Music, but I will double check and post that here for you. And then obviously my Raúl Alejandro, which is Raulita on Spotify, and I think just Raul on Apple Music, but I will post those again for you guys. And then my Latino del Mundo playlist is all reggaeton. That's on my profile, so you can check that out if you want to get exposed to reggaeton. Yeah, that's pretty much been it. Oh, and also like merengue. There's a lot of merengue. I love merengue. If you know, like when I work out there, when I go for my runs, like I will listen to merengue for like the whole thing because it keeps me going. And it's so hard to run in that heat when I'm used to running in 30-degree weather here in New Jersey. So I need merengue to keep me going. I think my merengue playlists are called Happy Feet. But yeah, that's my Puerto Rico episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Maybe took a little bit, if you're planning a trip, a little advice. And yeah, But definitely like brush up on the music if you're going to take a trip there and you're not familiar, just so you are aware of like the sounds, what to expect. And yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hopefully I'll be in Puerto Rico again soon and I can even maybe do something live there. We don't know. But I will talk to you guys again very, very soon. Que Dios te cuiden todos. Dios te bendiga.
And that just about wraps this episode up. Before you go, like, subscribe, give us a 5-star rating to help push Booming with Bella out to more people. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel so you never miss an episode of Booming with Bella, but also don't forget that you can find episodes of Booming with Bella wherever you get your podcast. Just make sure to follow along there. As well as at Booming with Bella on all social media. There's a link in the social media bios that houses all things Booming with Bella and special access to all playlists mentioned throughout all Booming with Bella episodes. Thank you so much for tuning in and talk to you guys again soon.